So the Flowmaster Force 2 aluminized single exhaust system in the factory side exit configuration is currently one of the most affordable and one of the easiest to install catbacks that you can currently pick up for your 04 to 08 Triton powered F150. At around the $400 price point, the only options that'll be less expensive than this one are going to be systems that include a very simple straight through kind of muffler. If you're looking for an exhaust that retains the factory configuration and you're not interested in something like a split rear exit design, you don't want all kinds of crazy tubing and pipes and new exhaust hangers, all that jazz, you're just interested in some better sound, then this system is the ticket. Now I say that because this system in particular has a lot of little details going for it, and some of the other systems do not. The tailpipe is actually assembled as one piece. All your exhaust hangers are pre-welded in the right place, and overall the mid pipe is a very simple design. You might have to cut it to match it up to your cab and bed length, but generally speaking, this is a bolt-on kit that comes in 3 pieces. I'm going to say a 2 out of 3 wrenches if you have to do any cutting, but I promise you can get it done with the Sawzall or cut-off wheel right in the driveway. Shouldn't take you more than 2 or 3 hours either way. I'm also happy to say that as far as volume and sound is concerned, the Force 2 does a great job of making that Triton motor sound the way it should have from the factory, and that's all thanks to the chambered muffler that's included in this kit. Now there are some other systems available that are a little bit less expensive than this one, but generally speaking the mufflers that are on those systems are going to be a simple straight through design with a perforated tube, so it's almost like a straight pipe setup. It's really not going to make the tone of the exhaust sound as good as a nice well-designed chambered muffler like the one from Flowmaster. That means that there's actually very little volume or drone inside the cab, but you can definitely still hear this thing ripping down the streets from a pretty good distance. As far as actual volume is concerned, I'm going to give this one a healthy 3 out of 5 on my loudness meter. Again, it's going to wake up the sound of the Triton motor, but it's not going to be too overbearing. And if you daily drive your truck or you got passengers, this won't be a system that's going to interrupt a conversation inside the cab. And if you decide to stick with this exhaust, you can come back to this video. I'll show you guys exactly what tools you need to get it installed, and then I'm going to walk you through the entire uninstall of the factory system, and I'll walk you through the entire install of the new Flowmaster step by step. All right, to install our Flowmaster system, you'll need a drive ratchet with a 10mm socket, as well as a 13 and 15mm deep socket, and lastly you'll need a 10mm wrench for the exhaust tip. Optional but helpful tools include an impact gun, some spray lubricant, a pry bar, and a dead blow mallet. All right, so obviously we have to remove our factory exhaust first. In order to do that, we have to separate our mid pipe from our factory wide pipe just behind this guard right here. It's secured with a barrel clamp with 2 15mm nuts and 2 studs, so we'll need a 15mm deep socket to loosen this. All right, so once you've separated that clamp and you separated the mid pipe, the next step is spraying down the 3 rubber isolators that secure all of the exhaust hangers on the factory exhaust. Now you'll need some spray lubricant, some PB Blaster or WD-40. Let those soak for a minute, let that oil get into that rubber. That's gonna free things up. Then what you're gonna do, you're gonna grab a hold of the catback, you're gonna push it towards the rear of the truck, and then you can actually pull all those exhaust hangers out of those rubber isolators. The exhaust will drop free. Make sure you don't have that thing come down crashing on you, and you can actually pull it out underneath the truck as one piece. Now, if your truck has some mileage on it, you might have some rust on those exhaust hangers, so it might be helpful to tap at them with a hammer or something, help break them free. All right, so we have all those rubber isolators sprayed down. They've been soaking for a minute. Again, you want to have a friend with you and you want to take your time when you do this. You're going to be pushing the entire system back towards the bumper until all of those exhaust hangers are freed out of those rubber isolators. Now again, if there's rust and if there's resistance, very helpful to have a dead blow mallet and even a big pry bar. You can press that up against the muffler and get a little bit of leverage. But at any rate, just take your time with this because it is a little bit heavy. All right guys, factory exhaust is removed. Now it's time for comparison corner, if you will. And a couple cool things to point out here. The Force 2 system is a lot bigger in diameter than the factory setup. And the Force 2 muffler is a chambered muffler. There's not any kinds of perforations or small holes in there. So overall, this system is gonna be way deeper in tone than the factory system. That's an awesome thing, because personally, I think the Triton motor sounds good. It just is really restricted by this setup. This system is made out of aluminized steel, which is not stainless. But as long as you keep the undercarriage clean, you won't have to worry about rust or anything like that. You can see ours has tons of miles on it. Our truck actually has over 100,000 miles on it, and our exhaust is holding up just fine in its 409 stainless. This should fare in similar conditions, again, as long as you keep the undercarriage clean occasionally. And nice thing to point out here, we are reusing all of our factory hanger locations and rubber isolators, and Flowmaster was nice enough to weld the hangers on, so that's one less thing to worry about during the install. Now, you may have to make one cut to the provided extension pipe, but we're working with a super cab with a 6.5-foot box today, so we don't have to cut anything. We can go ahead and throw that mid pipe on. So I'll meet you guys under the truck with that mid pipe. I'll show you how to get it bolted up. We'll throw the muffler and the tailpipe in place, and we should be good to go. So when you go to throw the mid pipe on, you want to pull that barrel clamp off of the Y pipe, and you're going to be grabbing that small clamp in the kit here. You're going to be using a 13mm deep socket to tighten down these nuts. Now, when you throw the mid pipe on, you want the bend in the elbow here to be facing towards the outside of the truck. And when you tighten this down, you want to get it tight enough that it's going to stay in place, but we want to leave it loose enough that if we need to, we can rotate this pipe. We want a little bit of room for adjustments so we can make sure everything lines up nicely. All right, now we can throw our muffler in place. In order to do that, you'll be grabbing one of the larger clamps in the kit, and we're also stepping up our socket to a 15mm deep socket. All right, we're almost wrapped up. Now we can throw our tailpipe in place. You want to make sure that you have the muffler supported or have a friend hold it in place. It makes it a lot easier to line up the tailpipe and the muffler. And you obviously want to make sure you got one of those larger 3-inch clamps on the outlet of the muffler. And again, you'll be using that 15mm deep socket to tighten that clamp down. Now, another helpful tip, be sure to spray down both of those rubber isolators behind me. Makes it a lot easier when you're trying to line up both of these exhaust hangers. All right, we're ready to throw on our exhaust tip. Now, this hardware can strip out with power tools, so it's very helpful to use some hand tools. You'll need a 10mm wrench and a 10mm socket. All right, once you got your exhaust tip in place and tightened down, go ahead and double check the fitment on all your pipes. Make sure they're not rubbing anywhere. Then you can go ahead and tighten down all those clamps once and for all, and that should wrap up the install. And that also wraps up my review of the Flowmaster Force 2 Aluminized single exhaust system in the factory side exit configuration, fitting your 04 to 08 Triton-powered F150. I'm Travis, thanks for watching, and for all things F150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.